of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
The meeting will please come to order. We do have proof of posting in accordance with Chapter 551 of the Texas Government Code, as amended known as the Texas Open Meetings Act. At this time, any members of the public who wish to speak shall each have 5 minutes to address the court. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Judge Grant. Commissioners, in view of the action that this board has taken to have a health authority who has not been given any duties or is not helping people in this county, I have gone to the Texas State Health and Resources people, and I got a phone call about yesterday, and I expect some action to take place. Also, I've written to the federal government to get them to do something with respect to this issue. I'm wearing 3 caps this morning, but my head was ringing like crazy and was beginning to hurt. Monday morning, I was running out of my house at 4 a.m. I had to go all the way to Palestine, wearing a lot more protective gear than this, and I survived. I'm fed up with this stuff, and no action from the federal government, from the state government. I mean, the Railroad Commission is in charge of this, and all is making equipment, and they will do nothing. They refuse to implement the law that I helped get passed. We all have to do something to make this a safe place. The mayor down there in Spring, he's got numerous symptoms of vibroacoustic disease. It's an insidious problem because most people cannot hear the low frequency noise. So they think I'm not affected. You are affected whether you hear it or not. It's a whole body pathology. We have to become informed. And when we start informing the people around this county, you're not going to be able to sell a piece of property. And nobody's going to want to buy a piece of property in this county because it's so bad. We have to act. The Big Brown 3 power plant. Our group, Citizens for Environmental Cleanup, fought that. And we sued Governor Perry. And because we beat him in that lawsuit, we won the case against No Big Brown 3, plus 5 other permits that he stated we had to put in that court case. And we won. 6 power plants were not built because this big plant was putting out 92,000 tons per year of sulfur dioxide. It's gone now, thank God. But we do have sulfur dioxide coming back here through the oil and gas facilities because they're putting out about 18,000 tons of sulfur dioxide, and it's not going up the little stack way up there 300 feet. It's settling out here in the community. This is a serious issue that we're taking lightly, and you can't, because we have people being harmed every day, every day. And me in particular, I know about it because I guess the Lord made me sensitive to it. But I tell you what, I'm going to get something done. Whether it's through you, whether it's through the state government, or through the federal government, we're going to clean this up. We're one of 27 counties that has more than 1,000 gas wells. We have 3,000 in this county. 3,058, as a matter of fact. And 130 gas compressor stations. So we've got to take action. We can't sit here and appoint somebody to do nothing. So I appreciate your attention, and I hope that the Commissioner's Court will do something positive to protect our citizens. We've got to do that. Thank you.
I did talk to someone at the health department about the statute that you brought up, and it is not covered by the health department.
It's not what?
The health department only, the section that you were talking about in the health and safety code, that is only under solid waste, and it's only a nuisance under that section, which this didn't qualify for that. All right, do we have anyone else that has a comment this morning?
Well, we have a state law concerning the oil and gas facilities, and the Railroad Commission chairman refuses to do anything. The law is very specific. You do something to protect our citizens and the environment.
Thank you.
Good morning, Judge and County Commissioners. For the record, everyone knows me. I'm David Fowler with the Fairfield Economic Development Corporation. I gave you, each of you, two handouts that has to do with, it's a community profile of Fairfield, and the second one is a profile of the new industrial park out there off the County Road 946, Old Mahia Road. We have 125 acres now that is very much open with heavy utilities, 3-phase power, 6-inch natural gas, 12-inch water line, and 8-inch gravity-fed sewer. Also with a brand new sewer lift station down there. So we have the largest gas line in the entire city of Fairfield. We could run a shingle plant out there if we wanted to. So I mean, we have a lot of infrastructure in place that's ready to go, and the Fairfield EDC is working aggressively to make a deal with a good qualifying company, something to be good for Fairfield and Freestone County to come and create some jobs here. So just wanted the public to be aware of that, wanted you all to be aware. If you have any leads for economic development, be glad to try to help you with that in any way we can. So second thing I wanted to report to you is that there's an important election for the Fairfield Hospital District coming up. The EDC was asked to do an economic impact of the Fairfield Freestone Medical Center. And we did that. We use a third-party company out of Austin called Impact Data Source, where we give them the numbers that the Freestone Medical Center and the hospital district report. And for 2018, the Freestone Medical Center, the entire center, had 125 employees working there. They had a payroll of $5,980,000. And overall, the hospital had a $63.4 million positive economic impact on the Fairfield area in 2018. And the hospital supported 156 area jobs with salaries of $74 million. And that was based on the end of fiscal year 2018. So I want to let you know that report's available if anybody wants to see it. The Freestone Medical Center does make a positive impact on the local economy. So, thank you.
Can I hear what was the number again on what it brought to our area?
It's a $63.4 million economic impact.
Wow.
So,
Could I get a copy of that?
yes, ma'am.
Just
Sure.
those statistics, actually.
Sure.
It would be good. Bev will make a copy if
Okay.
that's okay.
Yeah, I'll
Great.
provide that if anybody wants it. So.
If there are no other comments, then we will go to item number 1, which is to approve the minutes of the January 15th meeting.
I'm not supposed to approve that.
This right here about, I don't know, 100.
We can check that, but I don't remember. I know we looked at it, but it is a high bond
Okay.
for the recent Black's office. They handle trust money and
Okay,
lots of other types of funds.
I just
And
didn't
so I think
remember
that's-
being 150,000 underneath.
I think so.
Good deal.
Second.
All in favor, aye. Motion carries. Item number 2 is budget transfers and amendments. transfer on the grant, that SCAP grant. We didn't have enough money in there because we had to pay a percentage to the company that administers that, and we got a lot more money this time than we normally get, so we didn't have enough budget for the fee to the,
We normally get about 2,000 to 3,000,
Yeah.
and we got over 9,000 this year.
so it was a plus, but more expense if you get more money. Do we have a motion?
I'll make it.
Second, all in favor, aye. Motion carried. Item number 3 is to approve and pay bills.
Group with Pritchard and Abbott, it's on page 6. Is that for our audit? What is that for?
Tax office, Lisa Forey's office.
Uh-huh.
It's for, let me look at it, I think it's.
They process all of the
and stuff.
Wait a minute.
files and things.
Okay. Okay,
We
okay,
pay them
Quarterly.
quarterly.
okay.
So we need to cut you off, I just thought I'd.
No,
Yeah.
thank you, because,
Rush him off.
because I was having to think about it.
Any discussion?
Make a motion to pay the bill. Second.
All in favor, aye. Item number 4 is to approve the payroll.
Make a motion to pay the payroll.
Second.
All in favor, aye.
Don't sign this one?
Yes.
Okay.
Item number 5 is reports. I have a report for the extension agent of her activities for last month and also for planned activities for this next month, which is going to be busy. Livestock judging practice, 4-H meeting, Fort Worth Stock Show, San Antonio Stock Show, Houston Stock Show, so it'll be a big month for them. I have a report from the tax office for the month of January. The JP2 for November and for December. Anyone else have a report?
I've got one, Judge. I think the Commissioner's Court will be pleased to hear that the Freestone County Jail has been reinstated as a certified jail in the state of Texas. And, I mean, that doesn't mean we're perfect and don't have some work to do, because we do. There's still a lot to do down there, but we've been in contact all week with the state, and they have reinstated us as of this morning's phone call. So we are certified in the state of Texas.
Do you have a full staff?
No, we don't have a full staff. I still have 2 positions, I believe, in the jail to hire. But we're getting the job done right now. Trying.
Do we have a motion to accept these reports?
I'll make it.
All in favor, aye. Motion carried. Item number 6, burn down. There it is, Carl. Everything's good.
Yeah, I think it was.
Item number 7, special road use agreements. Do we have any? If not, we'll go to item number 8, which is bonds and education certificates. One for the sheriff for $8,000. One for Chief Deputy Constable Bill Natty. Do we have a motion to approve these?
I'll make that motion. Second.
All in favor, aye. Motion carried. I'm gonna get the signs done. Item number 9 is to approve enrolling county employees in the state mandated cyber security course through TAC. There was a new bill that requires, new state law that requires that all local government employees and elected officials who have access to a local government computer system or database must complete a cybersecurity training program. That would pretty much be everybody that works for the county except road and bridge employees. I don't know that they have access.
We don't have access, we don't have a computer.
Well, there you are.
Tried to.
There you are. That just fixes that. Y'all know what to do. You're the only one that has access, though. Well, you don't have access actually to the computer system or database. We'll have to talk about that about you. But anyway, everyone else that does have access to a local government computer system, I'll let you and Brian work that out as to what your situation is. That have access to a local government computer system or database must complete this. And TAC is providing that service for us, free of charge. So, but everybody does have to take that and get their certificate, so,
Is that gonna be online?
yes. I know that some have already taken theirs.
Well, they told us that that's not gonna be the right one, so we're not taking it.
Well, you'll be super up to date on that, yay. Do we have a motion to approve enrolling the county employees? Beth has already started getting
I'll make
everybody's
that motion.
email so that they can individually get it from them. Do we have a second? All in favor, aye. Motion carries. Item number 10, to approve releasing the Grand Prix Pipeline LLC from damaged claims in Precinct 3 and Precinct 4. We did get the funds from them, and they had sent an additional request that we sign a release. Y'all had reviewed it, Brian has reviewed it, so everything is good, but before we could sign that, we thought we needed the approval from the court. Do we have a
I'll
motion?
make a motion, we approve it.
I'll second.
All in favor, aye? Any opposed? None, motion carried. All right. Item number 11 is to adopt the investment policy for Freestone County. Judy, you want to talk about that?
Every year, we have to bring it before the court for y'all to reapprove the investment policy. It usually doesn't have very many changes. This year, the only change is on page 3, and it changed our depository from Community National Bank to Citizen State Bank.
And we've all reviewed it previously, so if that's the only change, do we have a motion to adopt that investment policy?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor, aye. Motion carried. I'm gonna give you these two. And then the two that I'm leaving in here, Beth, are the ones we need to send to them. Item number 12, consider funding for the new volunteer fire department for personal protection equipment out of the 10% grant match.
Give you this one. Late last year, I brought a budget up here, and, on that budget, we had $15,000 on, our PPE, that's our personal protective equipment, as far as our gear we wear, gloves, Nomex, different thing like that. Well, we got our grant, we ordered everything, and, everything's come in, so, I spent $16,702. I had to spend $16,667 to get the whole $15,000. So, the difference of, after the Forestry Service reimburses the county, difference of $1,702.
All right. Any discussion? If not, do we have a motion?
Make a motion, that we fund the two volunteer fire department.
I'll second that.
And that's gonna be out of the grant match money. All in favor? Aye. Motion carried.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
I'll
Hey,
visit
Judge
brother.
Grant, I just wanted to say real quick that we'll have to fund the whole thing, and then we'll get paid back from the Forestry Service.
Okay,
So,
they've changed the way they do that,
Right.
yes. So we'll pay the whole thing out of that grant match line item.
well, there's not enough money in that line item, so, what we have done before is we've taken like the 15,000, out of contingency, and then the grant
Part
match.
we'll get back, we took out of contingency, yes, okay.
I visited, Judge, I visited with, the chief last week, and, they have purchased a, what is that called?
outside mule with a skid unit on it.
It is a really, really neat piece of equipment that will be used in all four commissioners' areas.
Yes, we've got three, actually we have three now in the county. Teague's got one, we have one, and Southern Oaks has one.
And so it had cost them, and I just wanted to kind of let the guys know, and maybe they might think about it, it cost like $4,000 for that outfit, and that it's gonna be used in all four areas. And I was telling Brother Carl, because they working on a tight budget, that I would be willing to give $1,000 for that. And I didn't know if you guys want to help and pay for a bid that it's gonna be used in all of our areas and everything, but food for thought.
We'll have to take that up at another time. I can put that on the agenda. Item number 13 is to accept the inmate communications agreement with Crown Correctional Telephone. And that is in the jail, and the same people we've been using for quite a
Yes.
number of years.
Yes, they do a good job for us.
And you have reviewed the agreement, same agreement we already had, always had.
Yes,
Is that
ma'am.
correct?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we just have to renew it.
Yep, it's just a renewal. And we went ahead and did both, one of them at one
It's on a
time.
different line.
That, okay.
We can talk about both of them though. And the other one is a commissary service agreement. Wait, no, let's just do this one, number 13. All right. All right. There's no fee to the county from that either,
No.
from that communications
I
agreement.
make that motion.
That's it.
All in favor? Aye. Motion carried. Item number 14 is to accept the inmate commissary service agreement with Sterling Commissary LLC. You're satisfied with their service?
Yes.
And the price is staying the same?
Yes. The key is the service. That way, when we do have a problem, they're here and they're here immediately. And that's
So it's all working well for you?
absolutely, yes.
Do we have a motion on that?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Motion carried. Item number 15 is to consider the purchase of a front-end loader for Commissioner Precinct 1 through Sourcewell, which is a buy board type situation.
Make that motion.
Second.
We want it out?
No.
All in favor? Aye. Motion carried.
Sure,
Item
I
number
will.
16, for a slight fee. Item number 16 is to consider a resolution regarding a financing agreement for the purpose of procuring a front-end loader for Commissioner Precinct 1.
I'll make that motion, be one to.
You don't have to put that in the motion, right? Just you'll make that motion. All right, all in favor, aye? Are y'all in favor over there too? I don't hear you. You don't all hear well though. Motion carried. Item number 17, appoint or reappointment of the emergency management coordinator. I know he has been working, having seminars and weather seminars and all different types of things. Does anybody have any?
How do you make a motion to appoint or reappoint?
Reappoint.
Reappoint, okay.
It'll be a reappointment.
Yes, ma'am.
Is that a motion?
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Let me ask you a question. How is he working with the fire departments, and how is he working with the sheriff department in getting information out? I'm a little concerned about that. Sheriff.
He's really not reached out to the fire department, so we kind of invited him. He did come to one of our meetings last month, but, you know, he hasn't come to an association meeting. He's not come to any of the fire departments to see what kind of equipment we have. Just kind of, you know, just, that's.
Sure.
I still think that that's an important position that needs to be considered as full-time at some point. I will say that I think the communication with our office is getting better, but there's a lot of improvement that's needed.
How long is an appointment for?
We can table this to next time if you want to talk about
I think we probably need to get the feel of some of the people that he worked directly with, just to see what they think. I mean, I don't have a problem with reappointing, but I most definitely feel that this is a very important area that needs to be addressed. And I know that there have been some times that we haven't got communications out and some things that have happened in the county that I feel like that he should have been on top of. So, but then again, that's my take on that.
We are creating some committees, setting up some committees that have to do with in these areas.
Well, to me, the first person that would know if we had some kind of emergency would be that dispatcher, that somebody has called and said they have a problem, or they can see a problem. How's this guy gonna know that before they call and tell?
Because they're calling them.
I mean, who would call him?
My dispatch calls them.
That's what I'm saying, but how would he know? He can't be the first to know.
I'm not saying that he should be the first to know. I think what some of the problem is that after the sheriff department and the fire department reach out to him, he's not returning the calls to get involved with him. I mean, it's not that automatic. He should be first to know.
So y'all have started calling him, is that right?
We've been calling.
Yeah. I think a lot of not really sit on top of the phone.
Do I have a motion to table this?
Sure.
That's a motion. Do I have a second?
I second.
All in favor? All right, I'll have more information when we come back next time. Item number 18 is consider an order authorizing the Texas Independence Day fireworks sales.
I'll make that motion.
All in favor? Aye. Motion
Blocking some feelings.
Burnham. Consider renewal service contract for the courthouse and Annex 3 elevators with Otis. Is it the same fee, Karen?
$66 less a year, so it's gone down.
Only $66.
Yes. It's for 5 years. 5 years, it's gonna auto renew every year for 5 years.
And they do come when we call. They do come. That's always good. All in favor, aye. Motion carried. Number 20, discuss rules regarding video recording in county offices.
So I'm gonna be brief if anybody has any questions, and I'm kind of talking to department heads and really anybody in our local county offices. We've dealt with it some. I think the sheriff's office has dealt with it once. I know the county clerk's office has dealt with it, but what's going around is this group of people and they're First Amendment auditors, and they come into your public space in your office with a video camera, similar to that right there, and just sit there and videotape. It's a little unnerving, I would say, sitting there and kind of asking them what they want. However, I just want to make everybody clear that if they're in the public space, they can be there and they can videotape. As awkward as that can be, they can just stand there and videotape all day. And so I just want to make sure everybody's clear, and we have a lot of offices here with public space, including my office. Again, if they want to sit there all day, that's perfectly fine. Now, obviously, they can't come around, they can't videotape your computer or go into a secured area. You don't have to give them a tour of the office or anything like that. Just to be very clear, just treat them like any other member of the public on what they can and can't do. We dealt with those issues a while back, I think. It's been some time, but
it's seemingly coming back around. I know Leon County here very recently had it happen over there, and a bunch of people got involved. And I think as long as you treat them like the public, the quicker they're probably going to exit your office. Obviously, I think their goal is to get some rise out of people, trying to keep them out of the door, and I think that's what they want. And if you don't do that, I think they're going to kind of lose interest and move on. So if anybody has any questions about that, let me know. Like I said, some of the offices have dealt with it, but just to be clear about what we need to do. Thank you.
Any questions? If not, then we will go to item number 21. April is county government month. We want to be thinking about what we might want to do for county government. Do we want to have an open house or any kind of a function? So we'll be talking about that again as soon as we get it on your mind and see if we can come up with some good ideas. All right, do we have any comments from Commissioners Court members?
I think Wortham has their War on Hogs thing, and that's to support the working police department. Also, I think volunteer fire department, y'all have y'all chili supper this Saturday from what time?
It's gonna be 11 to 4 at the Federal Life Center across the street.
Okay. And Kirkland is having their volunteer fire department coming up, I believe, on the 22nd.
And then Teague has theirs this coming Friday also.
Friday, and also Southern Oaks Volunteer Fire Department will be having theirs at the end of the month. So those are things that are going on in our county.
All right. We did get a thank you from the Mays family. Shirley's husband passed away, and we did send flowers, and we got a thank you note from her.
We've talked about this before, but I know something we talked about state school people and housing out in the county. Is there anything that y'all know that? I mean, it's happening everywhere. Well, I know the sheriff department had some trouble in Donnie a year or so ago with set up. There's more in Donnie now. I heard there's 6 in one house. And I mean, I know those people got to have a place to go.
Yeah.
But I don't know if they need to go in public out where they're at.
Yeah, and I believe there's gonna be 2 houses in this county that's housing them right now.
I think there's more than that right now. I think there's more than that, don't.
We'll see what information we get on that. All right, anything else? If not, do we have a motion to adjourn?
I'm making a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that no paper.
I was gonna say, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, yeah, we're doing that.